And leaving the door open is the worst mistake any employee can make because...
It could let in a draft?
It could let in a child.
All right, so now it's time to mix it up a little bit. As you all know, I do a diverse range of content here, and it's time to dedicate a video to the ladies, as I normally do. And we need to talk about a topic that you all hear me talk about often. I did a particular video dedicated to this topic, as well as a small article here. Now, this is my Patreon, and if you go to the description box or the pinned comment, you will see a direct link to my Patreon. And what I'm going to do, if I can remember, is I'm going to make sure I have a direct link to this particular entry. Now, this is a 27-minute and 25-second video, and underneath the video is a small, short article that goes into detail. I am explicit in this video. I use profanity, but we also have some deep talk. And yeah, it's uncensored, and this is the reason why I love my Patreon. So if you are a Patreon member, you already know about this, because about time you see this video it's going to be released. But again, just make sure that you go and check it out. This is a very, very important video, and if you haven't joined my Patreon, feel free to do so. Again, I will leave a link in the description box as well as the pinned comment. Anyway, without further ado, I am excited to share these women with you who are going to really drive home the message. So without further ado, check out these ladies. You're really going to enjoy it.
So I have read a lot that your boyfriend finishing in you can disrupt like a whole lot, and it's because the product of them finishing is slightly alkaline and your hoo-ha is just naturally pretty acidic. So I've learned through all this research that your hoo-ha is basically at like a 3.8 to a 4.2 on the pH scale. And that product of men is at like a 7.2 to an 8 point something. Like it's really, really alkaline. I guess not really. It's really just slightly alkaline, but it's a big difference between that and your hoo-ha.
Girl, get your ass up. Stop letting these men do what they want to do inside of you and then wonder why you smell weird or wonder why you got a yeast infection. Get it together.
Oh, and another one that like is very specific to this whole situation that I've never seen another creator say openly. I think because they think it's out of pocket, but like I personally I don't care because I need you to know this. I need you to protect yourself. They were like, oh, he baby trapped her, right? This is the thing. I hear this a lot. Whenever I hear a girl say, oh, I'm with my man now, so I'm gonna go on birth control. My whole neck, this region of the cortices breaks. Breaks as I look at this person, because why? Por qué? If you're with a man and you can't trust this man to have the slightest amount of respect and decency towards you, to not be inside of you, adentro de ti, I'm gonna need you to log off the relationship immediately. Girlies, you should definitely be with a man. I don't know if anyone's ever told you this. That if you tell him, I don't want kids right now, or you tell him the time you want kids, right? From then to that time you said, that man should never, ever, ever, ever inside of you. Period, point blank. Ever. Ever. I want you guys to know this. I've had family members. I've had my long-term ex-boyfriend, my man now. I've had guy friends tell me this. In my eyes, they've told me this. A man knows when he's about to. So any man that sits there and tells you like, oh my God, it was just so good. Like I couldn't control myself. Like, oops. He's lying dead in your face. Do you know what he's lying dead in your face means? Lying dead in your face. Lying. He's lying. So that's how you know. The first time the man does that, you should immediately be going and buying like Plan B and not talking to him ever again. Because the first time that man do that, he's trying you. That is a man. Yo, these These be those people that trying to like destroy your life. For real. For real, for real. For real. The first time a man do that, you gotta be the fading meme, when you just fade into the wall like a ghost. You gotta go. Cause yeah, he tried to ruin your life. No girly would be out here baby trapped if one, we just ran to go get a pill right after that. And two, why are you being with men that you're allowed to do that to you? Nah, this one, and I'm a girl. Don't ever play me. I know what it is to be like, oh hell no, and just completely spaz on a man. And I know what's to be like, okay, like you kind of know. You kind of know. You know if a man's doing that. Like you know, cause then where's the evidence? Where? If you're not seeing it, that means he did that inside you. Cause where is it? Okay. All right. Well, then you know where it went. All right. Yeah, don't be with no man that's doing that to you. What the on the first time, I'd be like, oh hell. I think that's never happened to me, because the violent reaction I would have to that is crazy. Like, I would, conmigo no. Oh, don't do it. Yeah. You need, like I said, and I've said this in other videos, but like, men need to know that there's gonna be consequences to their actions. And men only understand violence. And like, yeah. Like, that's how they communicate within each other. That's why they fear other men. Because they know another man's gonna, like, take it there. They're like, when they look at girlies, they're like, oh, she's not gonna do nothing. Oh, okay, well, you know what? Perhaps you're right. Perhaps you're not. I don't know. But yeah, there needs to be some sort of consequence. Like, me personally, I'd be like, ooh, boop, boop, boop. Yeah. Immediately. The snitchery would immediately be enacted. What do you mean? No, girl, I'm sorry. Anyway, don't let men do that to you. That is how you're gonna get baby trapped. If you let that man slide on the first time of him doing that to you, yeah, that just means that if you let that slide, then he's definitely gonna do that. He's definitely gonna baby trap you for sure. On the first time, you should have did that. The baby trapping would not happen if on the first time that man did that. Also, girlies who say, I want to go on birth control because my man, this and that. Girl, tell your man to stop. What do you mean you have to alter your body's hormones and have this depression pill now? Because that thing literally gives you depression. You have to go do all this altering because he wants 5 seconds of sexual gratification? No. How about no? Okay.
If you let him finish inside of you, that can alter your whole body chemistry. It doesn't just alter your reproductive area. It can send immune and hormonal messages throughout your body that can change your whole body chemistry. It can also rewire your whole reproductive system just from that one person doing that to you. So imagine all the people. Your body is basically altering itself just to fit that person that did that inside of you. It changes everything up so it can always go with that person. That's a huge reason why the BV and STIs be happening, because that don't go with you. If you think about it, he's still inside you days, weeks, months, years later. And on a spiritual note, you let him finish inside you. His whole soul, spirit, demons, trials, tribulations. Guess who that's a part of now? You. It's attached to you. It's in you. That's probably why a lot of things aren't working out for ya.
If you let him ejaculate, aka come or finish inside you, you might experience unusual symptoms after sex, and this is why. Semen has a higher pH than the vagina. A healthy vaginal pH sits between 3.8 and 4.5, which is slightly acidic. And when semen enters the vagina, it temporarily raises the vaginal pH. That shift can reduce the dominance of lactobacillus, which is the protective bacteria that helps control your odor and your balance. When your protective bacteria are lowered, other bacteria can grow way more easily. Showering does not reset internal pH. The microbiome has to rebalance itself. Supporting the vaginal microbiome helps the environment recover way more easily.
This probably won't be a popular video because a lot of y'all don't want to hear it. But stop letting that man hit it raw. Obviously, if it's not your husband. If it's your husband, let him go to town, honey. But even if it's your boyfriend, like, why are you letting that man hit it raw? Or why are you letting that man convince you that he needs to hit it raw? Or you guys shouldn't be together, because what's the point? Because that's what my last 2 boyfriends told me, and I fell victim to letting them hit it raw. Because they'll be like, oh, what's the point of being with my girlfriend and we gotta use gloves all the time? And y'all know what I mean by gloves, protection. So then it was a conversation of trying to get me to go on birth control or things like that so that I would still be protected from not having a baby, but they can still get that loving with no glove. But at the same time, there's so many other things that I can get. Like I can get transmitted sexual diseases, AIDS, HIV. And then I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, if you're with your boyfriend, you would know. I'm not going to lie. When I dated my last 2 boyfriends, I honestly just trusted that they cared about me enough to tell me something like that. Because they were my boyfriends. Now, when it came to like other men I wasn't with, obviously I would ask them those questions. But with my boyfriends, I'll be like, you know, I never fully asked the question like, do you have HIV? Do you have AIDS? No, because I was like, if he has it, he wouldn't do that to me. But that's not necessarily true, and that's not necessarily the case. But let's even forget about sexually transmitted diseases. What about sexual energy? Like, that is literally a real thing. So let's go back to people who are not even in relationships. Especially if you're not in a relationship, why are you letting that guy hit it raw? Minus the sex, okay, you don't think you can catch anything, but what about your energy? Like, what kind of demons are he hiding? Do you realize that your energy is changing and your energy is shifting? When people used to talk like that, I used to be like, like, I didn't know how I felt about that. But I've always been a big believer in energy. And when I'm now abstinent, for those of you who don't know, who are new here, hi. I've been abstinent for 2 years. And I was also a very, very lustful girl. Was never a hoe. But I like to do the do, okay? I'm not one of those that could be with a man and not go for months. No, when I'm with my man, we are constant, okay? I'm one of those. However, I need to be with my man to experience those things. And now that I'm abstinent, I realize like how much my energy has just changed in such a good high vibrational way. And to ever let another man go inside that's not my husband, hitting it raw, never gonna happen. Now, I contemplate whether I want to wait fully until marriage to have sex again. But at the same time, I feel like that might be a little too long. So I'm still on the fence of whether I'm waiting for my boyfriend or my husband. But even if I do participate in the sex again with my boyfriend and not my husband, he's not hitting it raw. And if he tries to convince me of, oh, well, I need to feel something and it's no point, then it's no point, buddy. Go somewhere else, because nobody is convincing me of that. Nobody is taking my energy anymore. I mean, obviously when you have sex, it's going to take your energy regardless. But I'm telling you, like, the way I acted with the 2 men that I had unprotected sex with, I'd never acted like that with other men. Like, they had a different kind of control over me by not having that glove on. And that's why men be fiending for it so bad. Like, there's so many men these days that have it and don't even want to be with the woman, and they'll do it with no glove. They could know that they don't even with this girl and still do it with no glove. Like, why? Because they like the way that it feels. They like the energy transaction and energy exchange. Like, stop letting these energy demons take your energy.
Now, this does not affect men. Like most things, it doesn't affect men. They just get the satisfaction of seeing semen leak out of your puss. And then what? You gotta go back in there in the shower and scoop that out. That's fucking nasty. So, if anyone ever tells you your stinks and they're the one who nut in you, you better go the f on them, because that's why it stinks. That's why you have sticky, stinky, milky ass discharge, because yo mans or whoever the fuck nutted it. That's why it stinks, bitch. Not because you're dirty.
Lady, let's be real for a second. If you're not trying to have a baby, you really don't want to let a man finish inside you. Here's why. Semen isn't just harmless fluid. It can actually change the natural pH balance of your vagina. When your balance is thrown off, you might notice irritation, discomfort, or an odor that wasn't there. A natural vagina is slightly acidic and semen is alkaline. So when the two mix, it can throw off your pH balance. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It's just biology. Protect your health, protect your peace, and remember, it's always okay to set boundaries for your body. If pregnancy is not your goal and you want to avoid those pH changes, be clear about protection and what you are comfortable with. Your body deserves respect and care from you first, and from anyone you will allows into your space.
Girls, stop letting that man come in you. Like, stop letting that man put his seed and his energy. That is his devil seed in your beautiful garden.
Agreed.
And I learned this, I was 20 when I was like, I still haven't let a man blow it up from that day. And it's like, people don't understand that a man putting his energy in you, it's like, it's actually in you and it's controlling you. And that's how like y'all get attached to these men, is because you let them do whatever they want to you.
I don't want to debate about why I will never put a man on child support, because from the beginning, before the child support and before the baby, there has to be discernment and selection of the man that you choose to allow to come inside you and then procreate with, right? So take your emotions off the table and just understand that so many women are not being taught the importance of selection. They might see a shiny object and think, ooh, he'll be a qualified baby daddy. No, discernment is so important. How does he treat his family? How does his family even feel about him as a man? How does he feel about him as a man? Because if he felt good about him as a man, if he was a man, how he felt. If he was a man, he would absolutely not bring a child on this earth and then do nothing to support it. I hate that there are so many women that have to raise their children alone. But the reality of it is we are the ones with the control, because we have the body that produces the baby. So it is our job as women to be cautious in our selection of who we choose to procreate with. Imagine if we taught that message instead of like the whole safe sex thing. Yes, safe sex is important, but even more discernment with who you're having sex with, period.
And there you have it, ladies. So that's some food for thought. Let me know what you think. There's a lot to take away from the compilation I put together. I combed through a lot of videos. TikTok has some gems there, and I made sure I got the women who were like spitting some straight science, common sense, and straight knowledge that a lot of you all should have and spread to other women. A lot of young women are not aware of this. I have been this way ever since I've been sexually active, since I was 19. So it's something that I just naturally, well, when I say naturally, like I was a condom girl. It was like condoms, condoms, condoms. You know, I was definitely afraid of STDs, but most of all getting pregnant. So that's my thing. And, you know, when you have a monogamous relationship, you know, I would always make a man that I was who wanted to be in a monogamous relationship with me, we would have to go and get tested together, not independent, together. Okay. We get the results read to us together by the doctor. And then you can have unprotected sex, but there is no finishing inside of me. That's something I don't deal with. And this is the reason why I never experienced pair bonding with any man of my past, not even my husband. So it is what it is. I love this life. So let me know what you think by leaving a comment below this video. Now, men, be respectful. You all can like disagree, but disagree respectfully. Remember, I have my content for women for the most part. And there's some times I have content that you all can participate in when I go after Myron Gaines, who's a homosexual, by the way, when I go after red pillers, when I go after stupid women like Libby, who actually using all this energy going after ABBA, where she could have just said, don't climax inside of me, where she could have just nipped it in the bud. This woman doesn't even want kids, and yet still she going through all this psychological, because she's crazy, by the way, all this psychological turmoil and vengeance, and just using all this energy just because, well, she mad. All you had to do was say, no coming inside of me. No coming inside of me. No. Anyway, let me know what you think. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Later, taters. For exclusive content not shown here on my channel, please go join my Patreon at patreon.com/justtreat411.